Folks, we are live. Okay. So, we have the multi-band stereo widener. And I'm kind of thinking that it might make more sense, instead of making that plugin be kind of like its own thing, I might split the two functions of the stereo widening into two different plugins. So I think being able to make the bass mono is really helpful, and could put it into like a utility plugin. And then I think the stereo widener is better for having just the high band. Like there's really no reason to widen your low band. So I might just make a standalone stereo widener that is just like the high band portion of whatever I've already done. And I kind of want to make a utility plugin that's like gain, variable phase, and being able to make your bass mono. So let me open Max. Max is going to take forever. Okay. So we could have a dial. It's like we'd have gain. We could have where's the button? Okay, here's a toggle. Oh, that's the regular max toggle, whatever. This could be like a phase flip. And then we could also have a variable phase toggle, dial. So like we can have a dial that lets you affect the phase between 0 and 360 degrees. And then we could have, a monofy your bass, where this is, I don't know, the narrowness. Or let's just call it width for now. And then, can I make a slider horizontal on here? Here's a slider. The max one can do horizontal, and then like this would be like the crossover. Okay, so you have, let's see. Let's make a nice little panel. User palettes, background. I just want the dark color. Something like that. And include in background. Okay. Hold up. I don't want to change every single color, so I'm gonna make the panels a light color. Let's see, does that work? That works. So we can at least see what's happening. Yes. Object, I forgot how to group. Arrange group objects right there. So this is like your base thing. I'm gonna ungroup this real quick so that I can duplicate the panel. Arrange group. And then is there anything besides gain that we could do that would be included? What else might you be doing as the first thing? You want to change the gain. You'd want to be able to fix any phase issues. Maybe filter? Like low pass, high pass? Like a kind of steep? Yeah. So these two would be together at least. Something like that. Let's just look up basic audio mixing workflow. Typing with one hand because I've got the baby. Uploaded by Lander. Lander's been around that long? 2015? What are some of the main textures you're looking for in your track? What kind of space are you trying to create? Upfront and punchy? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, it didn't say anything about phase. Boo Lander. Wow, not a single thing about phase. Hold on. Let's just make sure. 0. Boo lander. I was thinking saturation. Notice that reductive EQ is placed after saturation in this list. The signal you're working with needs frequencies attenuated. You're not ready to apply this workflow yet. Deal with issues first and enhance your material with this. Okay. Oh, let's see what this is. The best effects chain order for mixing. Does the effects chain order matter? Oh yeah, they're saying saturation before, which makes sense to me because it kind of emulates what the console is doing. Yeah, I think I'll do saturation. Oh, Zoe. Sorry, you're gonna have to move. And it kind of makes sense with that whole notion of people who use, what's that slate? What's the slate one? I can't even remember. It's in the virtual mix rack. Is it the virtual tube? No, that's not the one I'm thinking of, but the one I'm thinking of is the one that, doesn't it model like a summing amp? Our plugins. The virtual analog bundle. This, the virtual channel. Okay. Much like tape machines, the top large format analog consoles have a sound and a vibe that has been impossible to achieve in the world of computer recording until now. Yeah, in a perfect world, I would have an idea of what these consoles, what the kind of saturation shape, wave shape is. In fact, I might be able to just say, let's say, console, or let's say recording console saturation curve. Yeah, this is not. I just don't understand why there isn't a picture for exactly what I'm looking for. I want somebody to pass a sine wave through these consoles, take a picture of what the resulting oscilloscope looks like, and be like, okay, here you go. Let's see. I kind of have an idea of what a tube saturation curve looks like. Actually, these don't look like it. This is what the tube usually looks like. Oh, this one's cool. This one's very very interesting looking, and it's heavily distorted. Oh, this is very nice. This is really cool because you've got on the positive side, you've got this nice almost ADSR looking thing, and then on the negative side you got kind of like a analog overdrive looking shape. Very cool. So what I could do is, let's say this one is gonna be drive, and then the question is to switch between like distortion models. Should I use another knob or should I use a menu like I always do? Because like I kind of like the knob approach, kind of like on the slate stuff. But I also don't feel like writing labels and trying to draw them on the UI. Having the menu would be cool. Let's see, grid, number box, tab, text, whatever. Yeah, U menu. That is the max one, so that. Okay. Yes, and then do we need anything for like the gain section besides just a gain knob? And the order definitely needs to be the filter. The phase definitely has to go after the filter, because if you high pass, you'll change your phase a little bit. So gain, or let's just do it horizontally. Gain. Oh, phase, width, and drive. Is there anything else you could do on the gain? Oh, you know, one simple thing, we could put a pad, so we could say just to make it look a little more analog, and it'll give you a quick way to reduce the volume by a large amount. So what am I thinking of? Oh wait, I already have a a bookmark for, yep, popular 500 series EQs. And a couple of them have pads. Maybe they don't. Oh wait, does this one? What is a pad normally at? It's like negative 20 dB, right? Audio input pad. But it kind of matters for the gear. So preamp, or let's just look at popular audio preamps. Audio mic preamps. Oh yeah, sure. Let's check out this warm. I assume the warm one's gonna have, let's see, so it says pad. Also says high Z, but that's only analog. I mean, you could model high Z versus low Z, but you would need noise in the system to tell if it worked, because it doesn't really matter. Does it say what the pad, how much the pad brings it down? $20 dB, okay. So yeah, we could do that, 20 dB pad. Range ungroup, let's see. Isn't there a button? Whatever. That'll be our pad. And let's see. Since we're here, a tone. Let's see. Tone button gives you tonal versatility by switching input impedance from 600 to 150 ohms. Okay, so it's a, that would be a, I guess you wouldn't know what kind of filter that is. Tone impedance. What are some other options? I mean, a lot of people have this. This is pretty popular. This one has a 15 dB pad. Mic line, low cut. Transformer versus tube. Tube solid state tone blending. That could be cool. I want to read a little bit about the tone thing. Phase aligned tube solid state tone blending. Dual gain stages for variable vintage coloration. If only I could afford any of these devices, I could buy one and then model it. Yeah, and the high pass filter seems to usually be up to 250. In fact, maybe I should call it texture instead of drive. Oops. Let's see. And I don't need to add a power button for the low pass. What I would probably do is, say like if the knob is at 20, then just bypass the module. Oh, what's up, Rambo Sweets? Instead of adding more effort and buttons to the UI, I would just say turn off the filter whenever it's at 20 hertz. Same thing for the drive if it's at 0 dB, maybe. I don't know, maybe I should leave it on. Because I think people kind of like that where the plugin just being on gives it a sound. Even though it's using resources, I mean, it's not that much, it's not a big deal, CPU wise. I could put a meter, but I don't know, that's unnecessary CPU usage, drawing things to the screen like that. Oh, the Art Pro. Oh, this one has a compressor in it. Oh, this has a variable phase. That's cool. That might be enough to get us a starting point. Now the question is going to be, how do we actually arrange this? Because I really don't want to just put all these UI elements out and then try to move them around. It might get kind of annoying. I mean, it's not a big deal, but yeah, we can make the UI pretty later. Let's just get a project started. I'm gonna make a new project. Let's see. I'm gonna go new repository, and I'm gonna say I'm just gonna call the repo Viator utility. Yep. B++. I'm not sure what I'm actually going to call the plugin, but that can be changed later. MV2, I don't know what that is. Let me look it up. Waves MV2. Oh, it's a compressor. What does it do? Low level, high level output. Hold on, let me get out of this and go to their website and look at it. With intuitive dual faders for quick dynamic optimization, it's never been easier to maximize your volume. High and low level compression in one plugin. Intuitive and simple controls, brings out room, ambience, and detail. Wait, is it saying it's a maximizer, I mean a expander and a compressor? Wait. It boosts the low level frequencies or lower the high levels. Oh, okay. Oh, so it has, okay, so it's saying it has a if signal is above threshold, bring it down, and also it has a if signal is below threshold, bring it up. I'm guessing. Is that what it's for? In that case, it's not, I don't think it would be difficult to make it. It just has high and low level compression, and it doesn't even give you access to like the speed or ratio or anything like that. So it looks like it's kind of supposed to be like a easier, almost one knob type thing. Yeah. No, I don't think that would be difficult. You would just, I have a compressor that I made, it's just a normal downward compressor, but you could just add in another instance of the DSP, and instead of bringing the volume down, you could bring it up. I don't think that would be difficult. $25 buckaroos. Oh, get $10 when you spend 50. Get $30 when you spend 120. Good deal. What kind of plugin are you making? Oh, I'm gonna make a utility. So this is kind of what my chain looks like right now. I want it to be kind of like the first thing you put on in your channel. So like you'll have a gain and like a little pad button to kind of make it look like an analog, like preamp or something. A high and low pass just to cut off like the very top and bottom stuff that isn't even usable or really like heard anyway. A variable phase with a phase flip, so you could either flip the phase just for a simple phase inversion, or you can change the phase between 0 and 360 degrees. So like if you know you have a kick drum that's out of phase with the overheads, you can just move the phase dial around until it aligns itself. And then there'll be a low narrow thing, so like you can say make the low frequencies narrow, like you can go from stereo to mono on just the bass frequencies, and then a crossover fader for where you want that to happen up into like, I don't know, maybe 250. So like wherever you set, like if you set the fader to like 80, it would let you make everything below 80 hertz mono. And then there'll be a texture, which will be like a saturation kind of coloration with a couple of different models in it. So yeah. I just wanted to, I basically started this wanting, I just worked on a multi-band stereo widener, and I thought it made sense to kind of use parts of that in different plugins. It didn't really seem like it was going to be. Do I make music? I used to. I do mess around still sometimes, not very often, and I definitely don't release anything. But yeah, I used to make like rock and metal, and then I for a while was trying to do like progressive metal instrumental stuff, and then started audio programming. Let me get this project started. New project, plugin basic, Viator utility. Utility. I'm gonna use the DSP modules for some things. Also Visual Studio. GitHub. Viator utility. Let's see, company name. Viator DSP, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what this plugin is going to be called yet. Should I leave it as Viator utility? It's not difficult to change it after. Oh, but the problem is I think I already have a Viator utility. It was something I did in a Patreon video. Hold up. Oh, I got an idea. I really liked front DAW. It's really cool. It's just meant to be put the front end of your signal chain, kind of like the Slate virtual console thing. I think the name is just great, front DAW. So I'm gonna go to Thesaurus. Let's say first. Front. Four might work. Four signal, four util. Wait, is that another word for utility? Service, advantage, blah, 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 blah. Ooh, not looking good. Okay, I might just do this. Or you know what? L utility. Okay, let me get rid of this. Now, this is going to be the boring part of the video. I'm going to have to copy over my pre-made classes and template and stuff like that from another project. It is in LV template source, parameters, assets, UI methods, DSP, UI components, which is basically all of that. I might not use all of it, but let's see. We're gonna go put that into Viator utility source. Okay. Then in Producer, I gotta go here, add existing, and I gotta add these. Okay. Save and open in IDE. You know what it is. Now, definitely cannot build without errors right now. There's going to be some stuff in here. Let's see. Like, I got my filter. I mean, I don't need the circle map and split distortion thing. Let me get rid of those. These. update that. Why didn't this update? Those should be gone. Okay, parameters, anything in here that's okay, that's not gonna break anything. LV window, that's not gonna break anything. UI methods, that's gonna definitely, let's see. Yeah, so let's start with this. I'm gonna copy this class name right here. That's gonna go right there. Add and make visible. Don't need these, definitely. Init window. Let's see, window component. Let me open something recent so I can, oh, like I'll just open the template right here. Let's see. I go into the editor, so I need this and this. But that's not going to work by itself. I also need to include this. Okay, that should fix that window, yes. So constructor is good. Is that all good? Okay. Oh, UI constructor, right. I forgot I need those too. This, save window size. Oh, this is what I need. But I also need these two. Oh. Okay. So that should fix that. Oh, there we go. Okay. So then I just need to go in the constructor and say UI constructor. Boom. A init window. Let's see. I will need this. Yep. And then I don't have these yet. So let's go do that now. Just gotta go in here. Get my variables and value tree and put that in here. Oh. Oh, I see. Whatever. Leave it like that. Doesn't matter. So let's see if that init window error goes away. How long have you been making plug? I started in 2017. I didn't really start focusing on it like super hard until like maybe 2 years ago. And then I just started recently getting actual development work. So yeah, I've only been doing it, you know, professionally for about a year. But I started about 4.5 years ago. Paint, I never used the paint method. Resized. Yes. That's good. Save window. Cool. So that should be good. I just need to go and call UI constructor. I think I can get rid of all this. Resized. What do I do in resized? Yes. Getting ready to go to college to get my bachelor's. Oh, good. You'll be light years ahead of me because all of my degrees are in music. I kind of wish now that I could have done computer science, but I'm slowly getting there. I hope you have a lot of fun doing that. Do you do any coding yet at all? Let's see, I gotta do the, can't forget it's not gonna build without the value tree stuff. Let's see, I just need this. Okay, now the question is it gonna build just like this? Oh, parameter layout, let's see. Let's see, oh yeah. I don't need parameter changed yet. Create parameter layout. Let's see. Oh, and then I need last thing, the actual parameter layout. Yeah. This right here. This would be a good one for me to store in my Stream Deck. Graduated from it back in March and thought, wait, thanks man, I did a code. Oh, you did a coding bootcamp for web development. Awesome. Graduated from, how long was that? Like, what was it, like 6 weeks or something? Oh, 6 months. Wow. Yeah, I know some of them are shorter. So 6 months, you probably got a lot of work in. So like, what'd you do like all the way, like, so HTML, CSS, React? What was I doing? Oh yeah. After the destructor. So we'll do that. Take those out. I'll leave one in commented. Oh yeah, MongoDB, Express, React, and Node. Nice. Yeah. That's pretty cool. I wish I knew how to do like back end stuff. I've done front end stuff with you know, Bootstrap, Materialize, and then I did a little bit of React. There's just so much, and it's always going to change, and there's always going to be new things. Like, there's just so much to keep up with. One thing I want to do is go into my Stream Deck, and I want to add this parameter layout thing inside. Front end is a lot of, yeah, it is fun. It's real satisfying because it's like pretty much an immediate kind of, like you can check your changes and see what it looks like exactly. I'm gonna say right here, text. This is gonna be param layout. Let's see. I have just a black square. Yeah. Oh, not that. Let's see. I want all of this. Let's see what that does. So let me go right here. And yeah, it looks like that worked. I just need to take out one of the I gotta take out this curly brace because I think it just automatically puts one in for me. Cool. I just realized the text on my other buttons. That's way easier to see. Cool. Okay, let's make sure that worked. So let me do it again, press my button. Cool. Very cool, very fancy. Okay, parameter layout. Let's run standalone and see what happens. Oh, let me do this real quick. There's no audio yet, but this assert might still happen. All right, let's see. And my webcam is gonna get choppy while this is building. Very cool. We call that a feature. And the first build always takes forever. Yeah, I just got it. I used money that I got from Christmas and bought it. It's real. I have a Mac and a PC, and I stream games on PC, and then I stream this on Mac. And it's really, it's just, it might be the coolest thing I've ever bought. Like, I have all of my Xcode commands right here. Let me see. I don't know if this is gonna look good on camera, but I've got all these commands for like moving code up, commenting, getting the declaration of a variable, stuff like that. And then I made a folder inside of that, and I started making these little text buttons to put up code snippets. So, and then like when I'm streaming games, I have some of the buttons pull up memes on like my video overlay and like play sound effects and stuff. And then I also set up some hotkeys for like Premiere Pro when I'm using it, and like Logic and stuff like that. It's amazing. And look at that, our plugin builds with my default little UI background. And it's really easy to use. Wow, I need that. I want to start streaming my journey through. Yeah, that'd be really good, because by the time you get to the end of it, you'll have like a real following, and it'll obviously be a lot of effort, especially if you start, there will probably be weeks where you don't like do as much on the stream because you just need time for school. But I think you can get a real following like that. I've watched I've followed a lot of YouTubers who were like still in school by the time I was done, and I loved watching the fact that they were still in school and 1,000 times better at this than me. So I would like follow what they were doing. But yeah, they make 3, so like there's so there's the small one for 80 bucks. This is the one I have, the middle one 150, and then the big one for 250. And any of these buttons can be a folder that goes deeper and deeper in. So like if you need space, you can just make a folder, and then all of a sudden you have all the buttons available again. So you don't need the big one unless you actually need, what is that, 32 at one time. So the middle one works good for me. Even if you're doing really simple stuff, I mean, the 6 button one's not, it's not bad, but there's a lot of stuff I'm doing where the 6 buttons wouldn't be enough. So this is probably, of all the stupid things I've bought in my life and spent money on that I shouldn't have, like this is like the best. Like it's making everything easier about using my computer. You don't even have to do streaming stuff. Like it'll just make key commands and, pasting repetitive text and just all kinds of stuff. Also, you can have it launch applications for you. You can, I have a YouTube page or like scene set up on it that has all the YouTube key commands. So like fast forward, volume, video speed, all that stuff, just to do it. What else do I have? I have a Logic one. I have VS Code. I've got Premiere Pro key commands. I've got Zoom. I did a Zoom meeting yesterday, and it was kind of cool. And then I have my Streamlabs. I have more on my PC side. I haven't spent as much time on the Mac side doing stuff, but yeah, I mean, the possibilities are endless. Okay, so our plugin builds just fine. Let's see, I'm gonna put a dial in just to make sure it comes up. So that's gonna be, I gotta include, what is it? Widgets, LV, let's do dial. And let's do it's JUCE. Is it? I don't even remember how I did it. Oh, but I can use this key command to suggest text. Okay, there it is. LV dial, I'll just say demo dial. And the only thing I need to do, I need to go into the constructor and say add and make visible demo dial. And then I will go into the resized, and in between these two, I will say demo dial dot set bounds, which is like the set size method basically for everything. So I'll just put it over here somewhere on the left side of the screen. Make it 200 by 200, just to make sure. Yeah, so I stream games on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then I do JUCE stuff and software development on Tuesdays, Thursdays. So 5:30 Central Standard Time, I'll do either Warzone or I might start playing Rust. Might start playing No Man's Sky. I'm getting kind of tired of Warzone, so we'll see. But it was nice talking to you. Thanks for stopping by. Oh, I got an error. Oh, yeah, duh. I didn't do the constructor for my dial. String suffix, db. Oh, interval. Okay. Let's see if this builds successfully. Because I worked on this little let me just see what this looks like. Okay, good. I got my dial. Okay, so basically what I did was, this is not the way a basic JUCE project is set up. By default, you basically have these two, the plugin processor and the plugin editor. The plugin processor is where the audio stuff is happening, and the editor is where the GUI is happening. And I basically kind of made my own framework. Very loosely, I use that term, my own framework, where I just set up a bunch of widgets where I make a dial that just inherits from a JUCE dial or a JUCE slider. And I just kind of have it set up with the things I usually, you know, set every time on it. So I don't have to copy and paste code every single time. So I have this constructor that does all this stuff. I made my own, I overrided the look and feel to make the dial look nice. So I have this enum to choose between different dial types that I've drawn. And so it's kind of like that, what's where I'm looking for, that kind of process for everything else. I have a fader that looks like a cool fader. I've got a border, a label, menu, push button, and then I got a toggle that I'm pretty proud of because I overrided the look and feel class of the basic JUCE toggle to make it look like either that typical digital power button symbol or that phase button symbol. So you know what? I'm gonna show you. There's probably a better way for me to set this up than always having to do these includes, but you know, toggle. Okay. So then I go down here. Toggle, and then we'll say demo toggle. And I don't really remember what I need in the constructor for that, but I'm sure it'll tell me. Demo toggle. No completions. LV toggle, demo toggle. Oh wait, do I not even have a, oh yeah, there's no I forgot there's no arguments in there. So okay, so what I'll do is inside of UI constructor, I will do demo toggle dot set, I forgot what it's called. Was it toggle style? So JUCE, this is a good candidate for something I can put in the stream deck to auto paste text. LV toggle, what is it called? Toggle style, and then power. So let's do the phase one first. I'll show you what the phase one looks like. Add and make visible demo toggle. So two things you always have to do for getting a JUCE component to actually come up on the screen is add and make visible, and resize, so set bounds. Set bounds. Let's put it somewhere else. Don't really remember what size I was using. Let's do 32 by 32. Okay. Oh. Oh, I wonder if the is the dial covering it up? What? How is the dial there? Oh, because I'm calling add and make visible by default in the constructor, probably. I didn't even realize that. Oh, no, this is why. I put demo dial instead of demo toggle right here. Yeah, look at that. Look at that little phase button. So that's the phase one. Now I'll show you the power button. Power. And then I want to make it a little, I think I'll do 48 by 48. Yeah, check that out. Pretty proud of myself. So let's get rid of those. I also want to go into the window component. Where's it at? Right here, window. And I'm gonna take out this. I'm gonna take out the background because it's an image, and I think I just want to do just a black background, fill all. And then make it brighter by 0.2. Let's see what that looks like. That gray is kind of not. Do 0.1. Yeah, that's a much more pleasing color. Now the question is, this is gonna kind of almost be like, I think I could get away with treating this like it was a real analog thing. But you could also treat it as kind of like a digital, like, so here's, let me just do this. When I say make the UI look like an analog plugin, I just mean that kind of skeuomorphic idea of making it look realistic. So what's a good example? The cassette one, right? Like this. I mean, it looks real. And a lot of effort went into making it look like this. And it's because, I mean, it's modeled after a cassette. So, you know, it should look real. And then there's the other aspect of UI design where you got cymatic space, where it looks not analog, you know, has like a digital kind of UI vibe to it. And I think both, I really like both, especially the digital one when it's done well, like this one, it looks really nice, even though it's not it's kind of modeled after something real, but also kind of not. So like you got to kind of decide at a certain point in your prototyping, you know, is this going to be a more realistic model or is it going to be kind of a digital thing? And I think there's a case to be made for both for this idea. But there's a couple of things in here that's not super analog. So we're going to have that mono base thing, you know, making the base narrow. I guess that's really the only thing, but I think a case could be made for both. And let me save this before I forget. Utility UI prototype. And we're gonna put that, I guess, in the GitHub. Viator utility. So let's do that. Okay, got that. You know what I use all the time is this JUCE colors. Let me put that in my stream deck real quick. Code snippets. Let's go right here. I'm just gonna copy and paste this one. And I'll actually copy this whole thing because I just realized, I don't know if this is a Mac issue or a Mac because I'm a M1 for Stream Deck, but the app is still open, but I can't see it on the whatever this is called, where you can switch between apps. Oh, and now it's gonna go away. It might be an M1 thing. This is gonna be colors, which I use all the time. Cool. So let's make sure that works. Fill all, and then I'm gonna press my colors button. Oh, look at that. Amazing. And then I'll just paste it, and then I can change this if I want to. Yeah. So what am I doing now? I guess we could kind of just start laying components out. But I kind of got to decide. So let's take this. Let's make this a nice dark background. And let's see, where is it? Include in background. So if I drag these on top, is it gonna, yeah, it's gonna be on top. So let's see. I'm gonna move all of these. I'm gonna make this larger. And my UI is a rectangle. So let's make it a little larger. Okay. And I think, let me change the color of these. I'm gonna take just a brighter dark color. Yeah, something like that. Okay. Yeah, but then the problem is, yeah. Yeah, whatever. Let's see, group these. Okay. Let's see. We know what that is. Okay. Good enough. So I'll have a gain. I have these filters. In fact, I think the filters might need to be on top of each other like that. Maybe something like that. And then, yeah, variable phase, arrange, ungroup. Let's see here. Something like that. Oh. Okay, this one's about the right size, I think. Oh wait, why is it not going on top of this? Ungroup, okay. Take this out of the background. Okay, there we go. And then something like that. And then the texture will go on top of it. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see, including background. Yep, and then the same thing. So now that it's including background, I got to toggle it off. Yeah. And then whatever. Oh, you know what? Actually, let's put this back. I haven't used this background yet, and it has little division lines, so it might work out for this project. Yeah, like gain right here with the pad, the filters, and then texture and output, maybe texture, output, and then we could have phase like this. I don't know, this is a lot of space to try to fill up. I don't know if it's a good idea to try to form my UI to what this is already set up as, because I could go, I had the Photoshop file for this, so I could go in and move the lines. So maybe that's what I should do. I'll build this without seeing the lines, and then after I lay it out, I can go back and put the lines in or something. I don't know, something like that. So let's go back. Cool. Okay. So we already have a toggle. Okay, so demo dial. Let's rename this to input gain dial. So -96 to 24. That should give you plenty of room to do any gain thing that you need to do. Demo dial, input gain dial. Okay. And then resize, let's do, I'm gonna make some helpful variables like float, or you know what, auto left margin is equal to get with, I don't know, 10% of it. And then same thing for the top. Get height 0.1. And then auto dial size is equal to get width, so that whenever the window changes, the size will change with it. And that could probably also be 0.1, but I'm not going to set it equal to the left margin because I might want to adjust it later, and it would be real simple to just come in here and type a 223 whatever. That okay. Input gain dial set bounds, so left margin for the X coordinate, top margin for the Y coordinate, and then it's a dial, so the width and height are the same value, so I'll just say dial size for both of them. Oh, very nice. I think the top position is good. I think the left position can probably come over. Okay, that's good for now. Actually, no, it's not good for now. Bring it down a little further because I'm gonna have a label, and that text at the top left corner is gonna be in the way. Sure, let's go with that. Okay, so I guess I'll make a label next. I need to go get me a drink and use the bathroom real quick, so my one viewer enjoy the beats. Okay, after popular demand, I'm back. I want to check the dial size, or I guess I can make a, let me just make a label. What? Come on, Xcode. I don't remember what the arguments are. Nope. The gain label. Wait, is something wrong? Oh, okay. I guess I can't do that. Oh. Oh, very nice. I think it needs to be bigger. So let's see. One thing I want to do, put some comments so I don't waste time. Input dial. Input dial label. And let's see, I think it needs to be bigger. Dial size, let's do it by 50% larger. That's huge. Ah, this is what I want. Oh yeah, I want this to be more of a rectangle. Let's make the user be able to make it half as small. And see what that looks like. Yes, a little better. Just imagine gain filter, so it could be smaller. Top margin. Let's see, dial size. Let's bring that down by half. Just to kind of get in the ballpark. That's better. Okay. So we'll have input, low pass, high pass. It might even still need to be smaller. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, and then we'll have a pad that'll bring it down by like whatever, 18 dB, 20 dB, whatever. So let's see, is that gonna be, could that be a power button? I think it could. Let's do this. This is gonna be input pad, and then what we'll say is UI constructor input pad power input pad. Where are we gonna put it? We are gonna put it on the right of the dial, I think. So we're gonna say for the X coordinate, we're gonna say the input gain dial dot get X plus its width. Then we're gonna do something similar for the Y. We're gonna say input dial dot get Y, but plus half. And then we might be able to find a good toggle size based on the width. I don't know. Let's just try that and see what happens. Oh, that size actually isn't horrible. It's pretty close. It's pretty close. I think maybe 3.5. That's okay for now. Why is the Y position so off? Oh, because let's see, the Y position for the dial Okay, hold up. Let's see, the Y. Input gain down to get Y plus indication get width. Let's do maybe 2.5. I mean, it's close. I mean, it's pretty close. I definitely want to change the color. So we'll say input pad dot set color, and we're gonna go to my code snippets. Color. Oh, no. We're gonna say set color. I don't even know what my options are. Text tick color ID, and then now we're gonna do the colors, and then we'll say white smoke maybe dot with alpha, and we'll make it 0.25. Oh, it actually needs to be. I think by default the off is the same color with an alpha of 0.5, so I think, yeah, that's better. It's not perfect, but and in fact, let's see. Push it over to the right just a little bit. And then I don't know, should I have like negative 20 dB right here on the top? It's getting squeezed off. What if I just say pad? Okay, that works for now. And then we'll need to do 2 more dials, a low pass and high pass. Okay. We need to put them in the constructor. Low pass, which is a high cut from I don't know, 250 to 20K. The interval value is 1, and by default, I guess 20,000 off by default. And then we'll say high pass. Oh wait, yeah. 20 to 250, and then we'll say interval value 1, double return value 20. We will have to skew them, but let's just put them out first. So let's just put them out there, and let's put them in the bounds. And we'll say, let's see, hold up. Input stuff. Set bounds. Okay, so this is gonna be left margin is gonna be the X. Now the top is gonna be this. The input gains X, and then add the height to it so that we get the bottom. And then we'll say dial size. And then we're basically gonna do the same thing for the high pass. High pass dial, but it's gonna use the Y of the low pass. And that should work. Did I put add and make visible for both of them? Yes, okay. The dials need to be smaller. because there's absolutely no room to put labels. So dial size, let's just make this 1 again and see how that looks, because it might need to be even smaller than that. That might work. And then we'll do another variable called space between, or like dial space is equal to, I got no idea what this is going to be. So what we'll do is dial space. Yeah, so we'll just add dial space to this height part. And then if it's not right, we can just go change this number right here and it'll affect both of them. Whoa. Whoa. Oh, that's pretty good. That might be it. Okay, so we're gonna need to skew them. Now, I don't remember if this is gonna work correctly or not. I think this is an issue I fixed where the skewing wasn't happening in the correct order or something. I don't know. But let's just go in here in the constructor and I'm gonna say the low pass, which is the high cut from 250 to 20,000, is gonna be, let's see, low pass dial dot set skew factor from midpoint. So what do we want to show in the middle for the high pass? 5,000 maybe. And then for the high pass, we'll do maybe 100. From midpoint, we'll do 100. Oh, that worked. Cool. Oh, you know what? The point of this is it's really going to be a high cut to try to just get the stuff that you can barely hear that isn't good or noticeable. So you want, like, you know, ideally it'd be like no lower than, like, I don't know, 17,000 or something. But I think the low is good. I think the low is good. So let's change that one to 10,000 instead of 5,000. So by default, it's going to start at 20K. So now let's make it 15. I think 15 is going to be right on the money. Because then I'm very carefully, yeah. Although that's kind of weird. I don't think it should go all the way down to 250. I think that's kind of ridiculous. I think maybe 2,500. Yeah, okay. Why is the double click return not working? Oh, I bet you have to... I bet that's another issue with the set skew. I bet I have to manually put it in again. Double click return value, true, return to 20,000. Yep. Okay, that works. Let's make some labels. I already made some labels. Okay. So UI constructor, let's see, input dial label, low pass dial. Label, so we're gonna take that. Low pass label. It's gonna point to the low pass dial. And I don't know, should it say the full low pass or just LP? Survey says nobody's watching my stream. Let's do high pass label. Give that the old copy and paste. All right. Hey, look at that. That's pretty nice. I don't know if this pad is stupid or not. You know what I would like to do is put in where the keyboard, your up and down arrow can change the like increment and decrement the dial. And then it'd be cool if you also had a fine detail, like let's say the arrow changes it by like 3 dB, and then you can press a fine button and then it'll change it by 0.5 dB. Having buttons do that might be excessive, but it also might not. I don't know. So like I could have an up and down arrow right here, and then I could say normal, and or I could have just a toggle that says fine and then toggle it on and off. I don't know. And you could click the buttons, or you could use your arrow keys. That'd be cool. I've done it once. There's definitely a keyboard mapping method in JUCE. I just I forgot. I remember it was hard to work through and figure out. I don't remember why, but should I just try to do that right now? The pad doesn't necessarily have to be next to the input dial. Because what if I had the up and down arrows right here, and then I had the find button right here? I don't know, would that be stupid? I think I'm gonna do it. That's gonna be a push button. Set clicking toggle state. True. I think this needs to be false, because if it toggles, I'm probably gonna use it for... Oh, no. We'll leave it like that. So let's do that. Okay, let's just do it. I'm gonna need the button called push button. Yep, and then okay, JUCE push button. Let's see. I don't even know how you spell increment. Okay. Increment button. And we're gonna make another one. And you guessed it. Like that. Okay. Now, now these I think I can do a constructor with a title. Let me just see if that builds. Nope, can't do that. Because... let me just look at this real quick. Button. Text button. Yeah, I'm guessing because I'm inheriting from it and using my own class, maybe I can't do that. I don't know, whatever. C++. Yeah, increment decrement button. So we would say, okay, UI constructor. Let's put it under the gain thing. So let's say set button text, by default, let's say plus 1.5, and then the other one will be minus 0.5, and then set button text, this one's not gonna be a toggle. But the find button is. Set clicking toggle state. And then we'll make a what is it called? We'll do on click, and then we can assign a lambda, which is equal to this. input gain dial dot set value input gain dial dot get value plus 1.5. And we'll have to do some logic to make sure the find button changes that. But let's just make sure this works. And then add make visible. Increment button. Okay, increment button, we need to place it somewhere. So we're gonna do, let's see. We're gonna need a button size. Oh, we're actually gonna need a button width and a button height. Oh. Okay. So the button will be a rectangle. So we'll say increment button dot set bounds input gain dial get x minus, or actually I don't know. Let's try that. I'm not really 100% sure. The Y position is going to be probably just the Y position of the dial for the increment button because it's going to be on top. Oh, the cats are hungry. Oh, I did 3. Should be 03. There we go. Does it work? Hey, look at that. It's a little too, I think the position is pretty much perfect. Maybe bring it over just a smidge. Get X. The button width could probably be bigger. Okay, let's check that out and then I'll feed the cats after. Okay, we're getting there. We're working on it. The interesting thing is going to be to see what that looks like on my 15-inch laptop. The colors are definitely off, but yeah, I'll work on it. Let me go feed the cats. Okay, I think I'm gonna get the decrement button situated and call that for a night. Left margin. Let's push this over a little bit. Yeah, okay. So okay. So we'll just go put it here. Decrement button dot set bounds. Increment button dot get X, so it's on the same left position. Dot get Y plus decrement button dot get height. That's gonna put it right up against it, so we'll have to figure out what a good space between them is. And in fact, let me just do this. Get height. Let's multiply it by 1.25 just to see. Yeah, okay. So, about 7.5. Oh, it's still, it can be a large number. It could be probably like, let's try 4. Man, I think, should I even put the pad? I think I'm gonna take the pad out. Find button. There's nothing in there. So let's get the pad out. And the label. And resize, get the, let's see, pad right there. And what we're gonna do is find button dot set clicking toggle state. This one's gonna be true. And then find button dot set button text is going to be fine. And then we're going to say oh, actually, I don't think we need to make a lambda for this. We're just going to have to check the state in the other lambdas, but we need to put it on the screen somewhere. So find button, set bounds, the X position, hold up. I just realized that might be why I was getting weird behavior. Hold on. Now that I fixed that, I wonder if that's gonna be all weird. Basically, I want a whole button size in between them, so I think I need to multiply that by 2. Nice. So now I should be able to do this. I know the Y position is going to be this. And button width and button height. And so X is going to be the inverse of this. Oh, wait. See what that does. Now get X plus input gain dot get width button dot get Y plus. Did I forget to do add make visible? Yeah. It's not as far off as I thought it was going to be. So what if I take this out? Don't have a multiplier. Okay, so what's in between those? I think that works for now. So let's get the text changing. So in this decrement, It's toggle state. Okay, let's try that. Why is the text not changing? Oh. Wait, okay. I need to put that, I need to do this in the find button dot on click. We'll get that out. That, and then in this one, button text. Is that gonna work now? Okay, that logic works. So we just need to copy and paste that for the decrement button. If that, okay, that should be right. And then in here, take this, put that in the decrement one. Okay. My logic is flawless. Cool. So I'm gonna make a folder because we're starting to get messy. I'm gonna make a folder. Why is it still here? We're gonna go into the physical folder, Viator utility, source, interface. Okay. Viator utility source, add existing interface. And then in here, we're gonna make a couple of C++ files. So we'll do ink button. We'll do deck button, and we'll do fine button. Okay, and then now we can go into here and we'll say void set ink button props. That could be const, I think. Fine deck. And what we'll do is we'll go into those things. Why is there no fine button? Whatever. Set fine prop, set deck, whatever. Okay, so in deck we're gonna say this is gonna be plugin editor. Viator editor. And it's gonna be set what are we in right now? Deck. And we will go into UI methods, UI constructor. Wait, what's your issue? Const. And we will say UI constructor decrement right here. We say set deck props. And in there, we'll put this. Okay. Oh. This argument set to member function set, but okay, yeah, I'll take const out, whatever. I don't even feel like dealing with it. Okay. That should be fine. There should be no issue there. So let me just do the same thing in all of them. Plugin editor. Viator editor set. What are we in right now? Fine. And ink button. And we'll say, oh yeah, constructor. Increment button. Oh, I'm gonna have to add that to the decrement button. Forgot one. Button props. Oop. And I left out add and make visible. That's pretty cool. I need to do this for the decrement button. Set deck, huh? Okay. Look at that, much cleaner. So let's build that and make sure it still works. Oh, I got an error. What? Oh, the find button got put. Wait, cancel that. We're gonna go into here. So hold, save, producer. Where is it at? I knew something happened. Also move to trash. Okay. Build. Okay, 1.5 minus 0.5. Fine, they both switched. Uh-huh. Seems to be fine. Okay, I think that's a good stopping point. Project created. Gain. Low pass, high pass. Dials. Positioned. Game buttons. Positioned and logic working. Straight to main. Very cool. I think that's where I'm gonna shut it down for the night. Once this finishes pushing. Oh, there we go. All right. See you tomorrow.